Добрий день, я
Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody who joins us here at Ukraine Media Center Ukrinform. We continue our operation. It's day 278 of our fight for freedom, and now we will be talking about the situation in Kherson region. Joining us online is Alexander Tolokonikov, press officer, the head of the Office of the Military Administration of Kherson region. Mr. Alexander, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Mr. Alexander, it's almost 2 weeks that Kherson and the liberated territory of Kherson region are under constant bombardments. What is the situation for today? How many injured, how many casualties, and what's the situation with the damage? Well, currently we provide the reports on a daily basis for the day past. It's almost, well, not almost, but it was around 30 bombardments all over Kherson region. 2 people injured and 1 unfortunately died. We continue, well, as for the destruction and damage, there are committees working on a permanent basis on these issues which involve law enforcement agencies. The statistics as of now is being double-checked for the last day. However, we still have good news. We gradually get the consumers connected to the power grid in Kherson, and not only the city of Kherson, but the region in general. Currently, it's 26 teams working on reconnecting the consumers to the power grid, which include 160 employees and 58 units of material. The teams were working on the lines which connect Vysokopilya, Topolino, Oleksandrivka, Novovorontsovka, and right now we can say that Kherson, that almost 20% of the utility consumers now have power supply in Kherson. So it's about 20,000 consumers. The district Shumensky, Pivnichny, Shumensky, and the houses in the areas adjacent to the railway station. We continue to work on resumption of the power supply in this direction. I'm sorry, I'm having an incoming call. So we keep on working on resumption of the power supply, and today the power technicians work actively on re-establishment of power supply to the thermal power plant, so that the homes in Kherson have heat supply reconnected to. Talking about the power infrastructure, what is the phase of resumption of its operation, or we cannot talk about that for the time being? Well, we have an order from the president to get all the consumers reconnected within the shortest terms possible. All the consumers in Kherson, well, get them reconnected to all the networks providing comfortable life. I mean, heat supply, gas supply, water supply, and obviously, first of all, power supply. And this is why we take all the necessary steps to have the consumers reconnected to the grid in a most stable manner possible, because the constant shellings, they damage and destroy the installations being rebuilt and repaired by Ukrenergo and DTEC. And now, in cooperation with these companies, in coordination with the military administration, there are 4 lines established to reconnect the consumer to have a backup option. So to say, we provide all the necessary support, all the support that we can to the servicing companies. But the critical infrastructure also includes water treatment facilities, and these facilities are now also reconnected to the grid. We work on supplying power to the pump stations in most prompt manner possible to reestablish the water supply. So we're expecting for the power technicians to finish their job, so we're ready to report on some solid results that we have water, we have power in the grid, and the light in the homes of the Kherson citizens. Mr. Alexander, about the crimes of the Russians committed in the occupied territories, do you have any information? We're witnessing the facts popping up in our mass media. Do we have an understanding about the reports of the people? What kind of reports? What is being documented? Well, the law enforcement agencies keep documenting the reports and applications from the citizens. They go on missions regarding the torture sites, mass grave sites. After the withdrawal of Russians, there are some horrific findings, and law enforcement agencies, they provide certain information to us, but their investigation is still in progress, and when law enforcement will be ready to report some final details, they will share it, I'm sure, not only with us, but with the society in general about all those horrors they are investigating in areas around Kherson region. I know that the policemen and security service of Ukraine and other law enforcement agencies, they work in that area all the time. They gather evidences, they gather evidences from the witnesses, but the work is still in progress. The work was only accomplished by the pyrotechnics and IED technicians. When the president ordered to arrange the comfortable life for the people, which was the first task so that people could normally comfortably reside in the city, to reestablish the power supply, we had to involve the pyrotechnics to that job to demine the struts of the area lines which were blown up by the occupiers during withdrawal, which were destroyed or mined by the occupiers during their withdrawal. So the pyrotechnics will proceed to other areas, and we'll see what are the finds, what are the results of the investigation of the law enforcement agencies. Mr. Alexander, what is the situation in Nova Kakhovka, Skadovsk, in the occupied areas of Kherson region? There was recent information about withdrawal of the occupiers from Kakhovka and Nova Kakhovka. Can you confirm that they are leaving? I apologize, the connection is not good enough. I was not able to make it out. What's the situation in the occupied areas in the left bank of Kherson region? What's going on in Kakhovka and Nova Kakhovka? Can you confirm the information about the withdrawal of the occupiers from those areas? 1, 2. Unfortunately, there is a communication breakdown. Our technical team is working. Unfortunately, there is no connection, dear friends. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up our briefing. We understand that there are difficulties with communication in Kherson. So our speaker got connected to our briefing himself, but things like this happen. Thank you. Thanks for staying with us. We're preparing our schedule for tomorrow. Bear with us. Glory